This might be too personal, but just wondered how much money-ish you've spent on your travels so far. Do you find it hard to travel together, being with each other 24 hours a day? For the past year, my boyfriend Jasper and I have prioritised travelling the world, but we're now back home in the UK for the next few weeks, planning and saving up for our next trip. So to wrap up our travels so far, I wanted to sit down and answer some of your questions, including breaking down how much we've spent so far. I will get Jasper involved in some of these questions because there's quite a few for actually both of us. So he's literally just washing up in the kitchen. I'm currently just sat in the living room in my mum's house, which I'm not sure if you've seen up here too much. So we've actually been at home for the past few weeks, which has been really nice, but I'm also itching to travel again. Like, I just cannot wait to go on another trip. We're hopefully spending only like 1 or 2 months at home, and then we'll be back traveling again. So I'm kind of getting a little bit impatient though. Like, I'm ready to book another flight. So the first question is, where is your favorite place you've traveled? Now, my answer to this changes so much, and I don't know why. I don't know if it's because it's like longer since we've been in certain places and I'm just remembering it different, but end of last year I would have said my favorite places were Boracay in the Philippines. Like, that island is absolutely gorgeous, the most beautiful beaches I've ever seen. The whole place is filled with palm trees, like it is stunning, and I just really want to go back to the Philippines and do more of the islands there. And the people in Boracay were probably some of the nicest people I've ever met. Like, everyone was so sweet and lovely. So I really want to go back to the Philippines, but the only thing I would say that kind of changes my answer about Boracay being my favorite place is that it was so extremely busy. At sunset, the beach was absolutely crazy. Like, there were hundreds of people there. Like, it was insane. So it is such a small island, and because it is so touristy, like, it is super busy. And my second favorite place has to be the Gold Coast in Australia. Like, it's a city right by the beach, so you have all of the shops, restaurants, cafes, like so many places to eat, drink, shop, but then you also are right on the beach, so you can just go swim in the sea, like you can go for beach walks. It is so nice, and also it's like a really active place. Like, so many people were out running, walking, cycling. It felt like you could live like a really healthy lifestyle there, which I love. Also, one place that I constantly think about going back to is Bali, and the more I think about it, the more I just remember how good it is there. Like, so much fun. There's so many gorgeous cafes and places to eat. There's just so much to do and see there. I want to go back and go to more of the islands. So I want to go to the Gili Islands because we didn't do that last time. I also want to go to Nusa Penida because we only went to Nusa Lembongan. So Bali is up there with one of my favorite places, and we will definitely be booking a trip back there hopefully soon. Jasper's just finishing his washing up, so he's gonna come answer some questions. You come and sit down then. Get in the hot seat.
Was this an interview, is it?
It's an interview, yeah. So the first question is, where is your favorite place you've traveled?
Australia.
Yeah, but like, is there a specific place? Because I said that, but then I said my...
Gold Coast was definitely like us, up our street.
It was so good, wasn't it?
But what other than Australia? I really like Lembongan.
Oh, in Bali?
Bali, yeah.
Yeah, that was
very
so
laid
good.
back, lots of cafes.
It was like such a chill vibe. Like, I feel like everywhere outside of Canggu in Bali was like really chilled.
Yeah.
I feel like Canggu's very intense, so much traffic, super busy.
Yeah.
And then everywhere outside of Canggu was like really chilled and like nice island vibe.
Yeah.
So, next question is, and this one I think you should answer. Do you find it hard to travel together, being with each other 24 hours a day?
No.
Do you know what? Like, it's so strange. Like, so many people have asked me that, and like, I think we're really good at like being together but also doing our own thing. So like, you could be doing something, I could be like, I don't know, on my laptop editing a video. So it's like, we're together but we're not actually like spending time together constantly.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah,
and also because we did live together, I mean.
Yeah, I think it would be hard traveling together and being together 24/7 if you've never lived with each other before.
Yeah.
So I think that would be the only time that'd be hard. But yeah, we found it pretty easy, to be fair. And
you do see the stories, don't you, where people break up on
yeah.
whilst they're travelling, which is wild.
The only times I found it hard, which you handled it really well, is on travel days when we'd be travelling through the night. So we'd like have zero sleep for like 20 plus hours, and I struggle so badly on lack of sleep. Whereas like, so I get really grouchy and just really irritated, and like I'd find those days really hard, whereas you'd just be so calm and collective, so like that would make me feel better. So like
I think I got better as I went along though, because if you
Yeah.
think of like some of the early day of like people would just annoy me.
when we
Remember?
went through, it was like our first flight, so we went from, well, it was our second flight. So we went from Dubai to Thailand, and we went through Mumbai, so we went through India, and it was
It's
probably the most
organised chaos.
yeah,
wasn't it?
like it was so disorganized, and
No one knew what was going on.
we didn't know where we were
People trying to
going.
board the wrong flights, getting shouted at to sit back. That
It
it was
chaos.
And I think that was like the first time where I was so tired, and it was just like everything was, not you wasn't, it was just
Yeah.
like the whole vibe was just everything is irritating me. I just want to get there and go to sleep. But I think by the time we've done like 5-6 plus flights, I was just like, this is just how the days go. So it's sort of like you gotta take it as it comes.
Exactly. Do you see yourself settling back in the UK, or would you be open to living elsewhere if you find a country you love? I feel like this is a tough question, because instantly I'd be like, no, I wouldn't want to live in another country just because my family's in the UK and both of our families live here, so it would be really hard to actually move to a different country and like leave our families behind. But then I also think about it and I'm like, in one day you can get over to the other side of the world. Like you can literally fly to Australia in one day.
Yeah, which is literally
Which is
nothing.
so quick if you actually think about it. I think I'd like to live somewhere outside of the UK for a couple of years just for an experience, especially whilst we're young.
Yeah.
But I don't know about like a long term where I'd like see myself.
Yeah, I'd say exactly the same. Like,
Yeah.
this moment in time, I'm kind of like, probably at some point we will come back and get another house, but right now that's not the priority.
Yeah,
like I could happily go do like the work and holiday visa in Australia.
Yeah, we've discussed that quite a lot, and a couple of people asked me, would we do that? And I think I definitely want to do that at some point. Leading on from that, someone asked, when you settle back in the UK, would you rent a flat instead of buying a house? And I think if we were actually settling back in the UK, we'd probably buy a house again.
Yeah, we've always kind of said we'd quite like to experience staying in like a flat which has gym,
Yeah.
all of that stuff, which would be more like city central. So if we did that, we'd probably do like 6 months rent just to experience it. But I don't really know. I haven't really thought about it.
I don't think like buying, like, to be honest, I don't think staying in the UK in the like foreseeable is in our plan. Like I think we just want to travel for as long as we can.
Yeah, so I don't really know.
Yeah.
I think that would be more like once we've came to terms with, okay, like let's go home, then we'd start thinking, well, I guess it would we just see what's on the market, wouldn't we, at the time?
Like the assumption that we get is that we've kind of spent all of our money on traveling. And I also just wanted to say, like, we are responsible with our money. Like we have set aside enough money that if we did want to buy a house again, like we do still have like a house deposit.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just wanted to put that out there because I think even though we sold everything to go travel, like we still are being responsible with it, which I'd encourage you to do as well. Like think about the future, don't spend all of your money.
Yeah, I feel
all
like
at
we are
once.
quite, well, people, when you portray the thing of like, oh, we quit our jobs, sold a house, traveled the world, everyone thinks we're like unresponsible with money, but it's probably the complete opposite.
Exactly.
We're very like careful with savings and stuff like that.
Someone asked, will you be going to India?
But you've said that you wanted to go there for ages,
So
but
long.
after my Mumbai airport experience,
You're not that keen. But like, it's just such a different culture, and like,
it does look crazy, like just crazy, and
it looked really overwhelming, which honestly is something that really excites me. Like I'd love to experience it. I think I would be slightly scared.
They do that festival, don't they, with like
The paint, wasn't it?
powder.
Yeah.
I don't know what it symbolises or anything, but it does look pretty crazy.
So I think I'd love to go if I can convince Jasper to
I
come
definitely
with me.
think I would go. Like, I really want to just go back to Asia at the moment.
Yeah.
But like, we probably will end up if it's just like a couple of days like layover or whatever. But
I always
think we
see
will.
the trains in India. They're like, you can do these like trains that take you to all these different spots, and they look really cool.
Yeah,
like that would
sleeper
be,
trains, don't
yeah,
they? You
be
stay
so
on them
cool.
overnight.
What are some of your absolute travel essentials? Love your vlogs and positivity.
Aw.
Yeah, travel essentials. Like off the top of my head.
Travel adapter
Oh yeah, like
and a good one.
Yeah, we got a universal travel adapter.
Amazon's your best friend.
It's so good. I'll try and remember to leave it linked in the description box because it was
we got
so good.
We got two good ones. One's really good though. You can USB-C, USB, normal UK plug, and you can use it anywhere in the world, can't you?
Yeah, it's so good.
They are very good.
So, like,
they're more expensive than your standards, but we haven't had any
so
problems.
worth the investment for sure. A waterproof backpack, especially when you're going to like islands or you're going on a boat trip. Like, it's just so useful just to put all your electronics in it. Like, I have my camera that I wanted to put in it, so...
Yeah, and like boat trips don't get cancelled just because there's a bit of wave.
No,
so
you are going...
You get wet.
Yeah, you're going whatever the weather on these boat trips. Like,
you don't even like, because we had that bag, as soon as you put stuff in, I didn't even think about it. Whereas if not, you'd be a bit like, oh...
It's going to get
Is my bag going to get wet? Like charcoal tablets, probiotics.
Yeah, probiotics is a key, especially in Asia.
I mean, I don't know if that actually helped us, but...
I
got ill in Thailand.
But that was... I feel like that was actual food poisoning.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like a lot of people get sick from, like, the water or things like that, whereas I genuinely think you ate, like, out-of-date food.
Yeah, or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, other than that, I think what did we take? We took turmeric tablets, probiotics, and charcoal tablets, and yeah, other than that little bit of illness I had in Thailand, everything else was completely fine. So I definitely recommend just taking, because they're not even expensive. It's worth it just for like 20, 30 quid, just to potentially stop you from getting ill.
Definitely. I don't know if this is classed as an essential, but getting your travel vaccinations before you go travelling and actually paying for it, like, they are so expensive. It cost us £500 each, so it was like £1,000 before we went travelling to get all of our, like, hepatitis A, hepatitis B, tetanus, typhoid,
rabies.
All of them. We also got rabies, which was so nice for, like, the peace of mind.
Japanese encephalitis.
Oh, Japanese encephalitis. That one sounds absolutely awful. So I felt like I had such a nice, like, peace of mind going travelling. And I think if I didn't get them, I would be kind of on edge. Yes.
And you need to, like, look at it in advance, because, like, rabies, for example, there was a shortage across the country, so we had to wait a few weeks for that. And a lot of them are, like, a couple of courses that you have to take, like, 1 week apart, the next one's 2 weeks, or however it works out, but like the course for one of the vaccines might be like 6 weeks.
Yeah.
So like 2 weeks before travelling, last minute, like, you won't be able to do it.
Exactly.
So at least like 2 to 3 months, I'd say, in advance, is you should probably look into it.
One other thing is that sun cream is ridiculously expensive in Southeast Asia. Like, going to Bali, it was like £15 for like a little tiny
The
bottle.
one we used to buy anyway was £15, wasn't it? We used to buy the banana boat ones, because a lot of them, when you research, they have bleach in them, don't they?
Yeah, like whitening products.
Especially in Thailand, they did. So that was what we could have got probably got cheaper sun creams, but once we found out about them was fine for us, we just kept buying that one. But
yeah, so if you've got space in your luggage, take as much sun cream as, like, physically possible, because that will cost you an absolute fortune, especially because...
I think that's the only thing, wasn't it, that was super expensive.
Really expensive, yeah.
But then, like, it kind of trades off because everything else is pretty cheap.
True. Would you travel to the Caribbean and South America?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think... Where is it in South America?
Costa Rica.
No, that's northern... I think that's North America.
That's Central America.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
I'm so good.
I'm pretty sure it is.
Everything on
Caribbean Central.
I think it's like Peru, Curacao, Colombia, all of those.
Colombia's South America.
Yeah, like
but
South America.
I think Caribbean Central.
I don't know.
We'll just include all of them.
Yeah, like all of those, like Costa Rica.
What's the one I really? Oh, Puerto Rico. I like the look of.
Colombia, Venezuela.
And
they just look
Costa
so
Rica's
cool.
the one where you get, like, everyone hires like golf caddies or those, like, little gators, don't they?
Yeah, I definitely want to do that. I don't know when we do that, because I think we're kind of set on going back to, like, Thailand, Bali, all of those places first.
But yeah, like, who knows? I mean, the first bit of travel, we never thought we were going to go to Hawaii and Mexico, so
do you know what actually blows my mind? That on our way back from, like, Australia and Asia, we went via Mexico, like...
And via Hawaii,
yeah,
it's just...
That wasn't in our plan, it just happened to work out that way.
Yeah, I think we ended up planning and booking it like 2 months in, didn't we?
Can you explain more about your job, both YouTube and your work from home, and if he's happy to what Jasper does? So obviously YouTube is just more of a hobby for me, like I don't make a proper income from it. So I think that's also why I love it so much, because it is still just like my sole hobby.
A lot of people don't realise that either, do they?
No, that a lot of people
I've seen comments where someone's like put something, someone's replied, well, like she obviously makes all their money from YouTube. It's obvious how she's able to afford these things, and I'm like, I don't think people actually realise.
No.
You need to get like to a decent
level, yeah.
Well, to earn consistent anyway.
Especially from AdSense, like some months have been really good. Like some months I've earned like over £1,000, which is like insane. But probably the majority of months is like £200-300 I'd make.
200 to 400 probably.
Yeah, so like, which is great, just as like extra, but it's obviously not enough to fund our travels, and also not enough to like have as like a full-time income. So yeah, honestly super grateful to earn anything from this though, because it literally is a pure hobby for me. And I also think like I've been uploading to YouTube for like 7 years now. If I was doing it for like wanting it to be a full-time job or wanting it to be like my sole income, I would have 100% given up by now, because I just think when you do it for that reason,
yeah, it's kind of just like you do it for fun, and if like a byproduct it ends up being able to fund
exactly
like, what you want to do in life, then amazing.
Yeah, and also as well, I'd say it's just so good for the memories. Like I've literally watched back the travel vlogs.
We forget like so many things that we did.
Yeah, and it's so good. So if there's any of you guys just want to start a YouTube channel just to purely document your life or like your travels or whatever, like I just recommend doing it, because it's so good.
I've seen so many people on TikTok saying like that you should you should film your holidays, and then when you grow up and have kids or whatever, you can show them what you did, and just memories to look back, because it's so much better than a photo.
So much better. On my channel, like I've got when we bought our first flat, rented our first flat, bought our first house, all of the stuff that we did to our house, and then like it's kind of like my whole life is documented on here. So yeah, regardless of whether it was a job or not, like I would continue doing it, and even if like one person watches my videos, I'll still be here uploading every week.
I guess also we're just used to it now.
Yeah, like it's part of my life.
Someone just likes filming their first holiday would probably be a bit, they probably feel really awkward, but I guess it's just like second nature to them. Exactly.
And then my work from home job, so I've worked in marketing for around 5.5 years, 6 years now. So I didn't go to uni, I just went and did a digital marketing internship. So since then I've just worked at different marketing agencies, and the one that I currently work for, I've worked there for 3 years, almost 3 years, and it's a remote job. You can only work within certain like hours, time zones. Time zones of the UK. So it does restrict travel a little bit. So when I went to like Southeast Asia last time, I stopped working, and then I have since like gone back. But yeah, it's so much fun. So essentially like my actual job is like a content creator. So I make basically ads for companies where I'm like the actor in the ads. So it's a very creative role, and it can be really tough sometimes, but I actually do really love working in marketing. Like marketing has its ups and downs. Like it can be really, really tough, but yeah, I do really enjoy it.
Then me, obviously I was a mechanic beforehand, which I obviously quit to go travelling, and then whilst we were travelling I didn't do anything.
Yeah, you pretty much just helped me with like my editing, basically, social media.
And then since we've been back, I've just been doing like odd bits and pieces here and there, because obviously we're planning on going away, and I could get my job back, but not just for like a couple of weeks. No, it's not like worth it. So yeah, I've not really been doing anything for now.
I think that's the best though, because like if we were coming back permanently, it'd be good to get your job back, but because we have the intention of like going away again. See, someone else put, if you didn't do YouTube, would you have still travelled the world? Yes. Yeah.
It's funny, isn't it? Because you look back at like one of the videos in the house where someone must have asked you about like, do you not think you should go travelling or something? And you're like, no, like it's not like what I want. And then within like a year and a half or 2 years after that, was when we started thinking like, well, it was mainly because of house prices, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was like
house prices skyrocketed, and then when we could see how much money we could get out of the house, keep aside and go travelling, it was kind of a no-brainer. And I've always thought of like wanting to go travelling since I was younger, but I went straight into a job since I was 16. Yeah. So I just sort of like pushed it to the back of my mind, been on loads of holidays and stuff, and I've always wanted to go to Australia. That was like the main one that I wanted to go to. And then, yeah, we just did it.
Yeah, it's so weird, that video, because it was basically like someone asked me, I don't know what video I was doing, but someone asked me like, do you regret buying a house? Because like, how, like, do you not want to do traveling? And I'm literally in the video being like, no, I could never go traveling. And like, it's so funny looking back at it now. I am not the type of person to go traveling for like 7 months or something. Like, I just couldn't do that whole backpacking life, and I know that. Oh my god, I love this question. Aiden proposed to Tilia in Australia. So if you don't know, Tilia and Aiden are literally our best friends, and they just got engaged on their trip to Australia. And the question is, where would you like Jasper to propose to you? Now, I feel like I used to have really high expectations on like a proposal. Like, I literally wanted a helicopter.
You wanted it to be filmed from all different angles. You wanted a photographer, you wanted a drone pilot, but you want to make sure that your nails have been done, your hair's been done, you're wearing nice clothes, which I guess that's probably normal for most people. And you want zero inclination, but it can't be in the UK, has to be potentially on a sandbar with a sunset. I'm like, it's getting down. How are you not going to know it's going to happen? There's like this much left of room for like anything.
I said you better start like doing nice things like that, just in case.
And then nice things.
It will throw me off the scent when actually it comes to it, because I'm like, oh, he does this all the time. So there we go. But yeah, like I think the longer it's gone on, like we've been together 6.5 years now, and I was like, the longer it goes on, the more I actually don't really mind. Like, I think I'd want it not in the UK because of the weather, I think, and also I never look cute in the UK. Like, when am I ever going to wear a cute dress in the UK? Probably never. So I want it to be like abroad.
Well, like, so many times you've told me like, oh, I don't want it until this point, or I just want to focus on traveling. I don't want.
Yeah, I think that's also the thing, is like,
you don't want me spending money on a ring. You want me to spend money on a hotel and flights.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm kind of unbothered about when it would happen, because I also feel like, I know everyone says like, it's such a weird one. Like, I see TikTok videos of people that have got engaged, and they're like, oh my god, it feels so different, the relationship now after being engaged. Yeah. Like, everyone's like, it feels so different, but I can't imagine having a ring on it like would actually change anything. I don't know. Maybe I'll feel different. But
we'll have to wait and see.
We'll see. Like, I'm in no rush. Like, I mean, it would be great if it happens soon, but also if it doesn't happen like in the next few years, we're still together, so.
It's 2024, roles are reversed now, aren't they?
Oh, in a leap year I can propose.
What?
Yeah, that's the thing. I saw like a leap year. Yeah.
Oh, interesting. We'll have to wait for a leap year.
No, it's this year. This year's a leap year.
I'll keep my fingers crossed.
How do you prepare for going on flights? Not really a question, but I'm an anxious traveller just wanting some advice. I am probably the worst person to ask this, because I love going on flights. Like, I love being in the sky. It's the only place that I feel like I can really switch off, because everything is in airplane mode. Like, I can just do whatever I want for that period of time in the sky. And also, I kind of love turbulence. I mean, not now I've seen the news of that person dying on the Singapore Airlines flight. I think I just love the freedom of flying, and being able to go to a different country in a couple of hours is just outweighs any of the negative. And it's so strange, because I have so much anxiety over so many different things, but flying isn't one of them. I think it is just genuinely because the freedom of being able to get on a flight and go somewhere else is just, the best.
Yeah, I'm the same as well. Like, flying doesn't bother me, so we're literally the worst people
to ask.
But it is a common thing though, isn't it?
Yeah,
a lot of people don't like it. One of my old family friends used to like do it, but like the weeks before she'd be so worried.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess but once you're there, then are you just anticipating you got to fly home at some point? So yeah, we're just not the right people.
We're not.
Sorry.
Hopefully, my perspective though can help a little bit. I don't know if
one of the viewers might be able to help.
Yeah, if anyone if anyone has any advice for anxious flyers, then leave some in the comments, because I'm sure that will really help. One thing that I've been really thinking about doing is flying lessons. And see, that's how much I actually love flying. Is like, I really want to get my private pilot's license one day and be able to fly like small planes.
I'll be able to say I fly on a private jet.
Yeah, exactly. You can buy me a private jet, I'll fly you about. So yeah, that's actually one thing that I really want to do. So genuinely the worst person to ask. I'm sorry for our terrible response there. This might be too personal, but just wondered how much money-ish you've spent on your travels so far. Now, we were tracking this quite like religiously at the beginning of our travels, just so we could see how much we were spending on everything. But that really, I don't know, just stopped like happening. So we haven't like properly tracked how much we spent. So it's kind of hard to like figure out. But a rough kind of estimate, I would say, is not including our recent month in Dubai, because that was quite expensive in itself. But I'd say up until Dubai, we probably spent around £40,000, which I know sounds...
20 each, probably.
Yeah, like that sounds like an extortionate amount of money. But if you actually think about everything that we've done...
Over a year.
Yeah, like all of our food, all of our trips, our accommodation. Like, I actually don't think it's too horrendous.
I mean, you could definitely do it cheaper.
Yeah.
I always see people arguing about, oh, you can do it cheaper than that, but like, it's our money. We can travel where we want to travel.
Yeah.
If we want to have slightly nicer accommodation, spend more money, I don't see what's the problem.
Yeah, I think
but people always get like their back up, like, oh, you could have done that for £5,000, and I'm like, cool.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have enjoyed it as much myself, so.
We're very much like the type of, like, we don't stay in hostels. We do stay in like hotels and things like that, but we also don't go for like the super bougie option.
Because if you take out like Australia, Hawaii and Mexico, we would have spent quite a bit less, because like Australia we stayed mainly in Airbnbs, which ended up being like fairly pricey. All the internal flights, you could have got coaches, but they take so longer. It was just sort of like, it's like, a lot of people ask, but it's kind of down to your personal... It's a good gauge, I guess, to get off people, but it's down to your personal, like, do you want to go pure backpacker where you're going to make, you know, you're only going to spend £10 a day?
We basically didn't hold ourselves back.
No, we did everything we wanted to do.
Yeah, so I think if you... Like, I think probably you could do it for, like, 25 to 30 for both of you.
It mainly really depends on where you go.
Yeah, exactly.
Because if you like, a lot of people go 3 months and they just go around Asia, which compared to say Australia, Hawaii, Europe is so much cheaper. So you could, if you stayed in Asia for a year and you just hopped about, you could do it for way cheaper and still get, like, some of the hotels we had, weren't they? Were only like £30 a night, and it was a nice hotel, which would cost you like £200 in Europe. So. Yeah, it solely depends on where you're going.
I also think Europe was quite a big cost as well. Like,
yeah, I don't have a clue. I didn't even like track it at all, but I expect it was quite a fair chunk of it. Yeah. Yeah,
but hopefully that helps if you are planning on doing traveling, and also wanting to do travel similar to us. I probably say that's the best estimate. Would you visit any of the previous countries you have visited, but stay in a different city or place?
All of them?
Yes, like it's genuinely when you travel to a place, like, you think you only just want to go to these certain locations, and then when you get there, it unlocks like 10 different places that you didn't even know about before.
Yeah, it's like Thailand, isn't it? There's so many different islands that we want to go to, and Philippines. Philippines is like
I was saying that earlier.
Islands, isn't it? So yeah, you definitely go, and then you think, oh, I want to come back and go here, here. And there's a few places we just want to go back in general, like Bali.
Yeah, I was saying that.
And also, I really want to go back to Australia. So yeah.
Basically everywhere, to be honest. Where's yours and Jasper's bucket list destinations?
Well, I know yours. Yours is top by a long way.
Japan. I think I've said this like 20 times already if you've watched my previous videos. But like, I literally haven't a full itinerary booked. Like, not booked, planned.
You've had it for like over a year.
Yeah, like, I know exactly where we're going, like everything. So that's definitely up there. Also Antarctica. I'd love to do one of the cruises. So those are like my top 2 places. What are you?
Mine's definitely, first thing that pops in my head is Fiji. I really want to go to Fiji. I think that's like the main one where we haven't been, that is just like instantly up there. And then I just want to explore more of Australia. Japan does look pretty cool now, because Jess makes me watch a lot of videos on Japan. That's on my itinerary.
Yeah, it's like a bingo card.
Which it does look really cool.
I'm like, oh, got that one on there.
Yeah.
We've realised we're very like tropical.
Yeah, like
people.
tropical destinations.
We like really tropical vibes. Whereas like, that's why we're I wouldn't say we're not keen on Europe, but we could travel Europe more, but like, we just want to go. For
now, we just want to go back that way, don't we?
Are you strict on your diet due to your Crohn's disease, and do you have to avoid food and drinks to prevent flare-ups? So yes and no. Like, my Crohn's disease, so I've had it, I want to say, I genuinely can't remember, I want to say like 7... I can't remember when I actually got diagnosed with it, but it was like years ago now, so I've had it...
way before me, wasn't it?
Yeah, I can't remember how long before you, though.
It's got to be like 8-9 years.
Do you think? I don't know, I'd have to find out. I've had it for years, so I think I've got to a point where I can really manage my symptoms. Like, I'm currently don't take any medication. My last tests that I did were like totally normal, and there's a lot of things that kind of like play into that. Firstly, the one is stress. Like, stress can cause a flare up, so trying to like manage my stress levels is like really important. And also I've taken a lot of like supplements. So one of my favorite supplements that I swear by, and I genuinely like think this cured my Crohn's disease. Like, I don't want to say cured because it can like flare up at any point, but this supplement called Simprove, it is so good. Like, it's a probiotic supplement. When I first started taking it, it made me feel so unwell. Like, it destroyed my whole digestive system.
Oh, you actually had you contacted them, didn't you, the help team?
Yeah, like, basically when I first, this might be TMI, but when I first started taking it, it gave me really bad diarrhea, like horrendously bad. And at that time I was also having like a flare up. So I was like, what is going on? So I actually rang up the helpline because they basically said this is normal when you first start taking the supplement, and I was like, this cannot be normal. So I rang up the helpline, and she basically said like that's what happens when like your gut bacteria is so unbalanced. She basically said to cut the dose down like really, really small. So I took like a tiny amount every single day and like built up the dosage. And ever since I've taken that supplement, I've never
had one flare
not one flare up. And also don't need to take any medication. My inflammation markers are so low. So if you do have any kind of like inflammatory bowel disease, or if you have any kind of gut issues, I would definitely look into it. It is ridiculously expensive, the supplement. Like, it's over £100, but
how long does that last you? £100?
It was like, I think it was like a 12-week course. So it's like 3 months.
That's pretty good though, if you think in terms of sorting out your helping your stomach.
How much it's changed my life since taking it. Like, you can't put a price on it. Like, it's so good.
You're like way less tired. Just everything, like, I guess, isn't it?
Everything. That's the only thing that I can put down to like having changed my Crohn's disease. So I'll leave that supplement linked in the description box in case any of you want to take that or look into it. But do your own research, speak to your consultants and doctors and everything before you take it. But I would highly recommend, that's the one thing that's helped me.
And turmeric.
Oh, and turmeric. I take turmeric shots, which is anti-inflammatory, which really helps. But in terms of the actual question, is there anything I do whilst traveling? I try to avoid foods that I'm not used to, which I know is really hard when you're like in a different country,
different foods.
But the spices and the like different oils they cook with and things like that can really upset me. Like, not so much that I've had a flare up, but I get really bad bloating and things like that. So I tend to just stick to the foods that I'm used to, just in case, because I think the worst thing that could happen is get a flare up in like Asia and you're not at home. So that's the only thing I would do, is like, as much as possible, stick to the foods that you're used to, and then obviously do all the clean your teeth with bottled water, don't drink tap water, just all the obvious. I guess this
also links back into, you took the probiotics, the turmeric tablets
with me, So yeah, that's the only things that I really did, and I was totally fine. Like, we came back, it was all good. So
I was just thinking, you did try local food, but you didn't just go like from eating food you're used to and then just have like 3 meals a day of just the local food, did you? You kind of like you tried, you just have like a pad thai, which is pretty normal-ish compared to our food. You just have that one meal and see how it affects you, and then like by the time like end of Bali, we went to like a definitely more local, like a Warong, and you were completely fine. So I guess it's kind of like building your tolerance.
Yeah, exactly.
It's going to affect, if you've got Crohn's disease, everybody gets affected differently, I suppose. So
yeah. Well, that is all the questions that we're
That's a wrap. That's a wrap.
That's all the questions that we're going to answer today. If you want another one of these, I will force Jasper to come be in one. So yeah, I really hope you guys have enjoyed this Q&A. If you have any more questions, just leave them in the comments and I'll just respond to them there, or let me know if you want another one of these videos and we can do one of those. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I shall catch you guys in the next video. Bye.
Woo!
That was dramatic.